Next one from Chris. Just wondering, which would you choose if you were in your second year of urban farming for a new plot? We have a large deer problem here in our town in Northern Ontario. So 7 foot fencing is a must. Yeah, for sure. Option one, fenced quarter acre lot, quarter acre lot set up and used by an older gardener that was a great gardener, but not set up for commercial market gardening. The last couple of years, his health has limited his upkeep of the garden, so it is overrun with weeds, mostly non-invasive and unharvested plants. He sold the lot with his house, and the new owners are not using it. So there is a lot. There is a lot 10-minute drive from my home base, wash, pack, store. This could this lease could end up being just 1 year, as the new owners have plans for the lot. Option two, open lot with clay but terrible invasive weeds. Ugh. Can be expanded if needed slash wanted, but not currently fenced. Can have unlimited access for many years. Is much closer to my home, 2-minute drive. Just looking at your opinion on a new clear land versus old land that may not be an ideal setup. That's an interesting it's an interesting scenario you're in there. The quarter acre is kind of neat because it doesn't sound like you got a lot of work to get that into production, and maybe 10 minutes. If you're talking a 10-minute drive or a 2-minute drive, I mean, yeah, 2 minutes is a lot easier if you can get there a lot, and you want to be there a lot. But 10 minutes isn't that much. Like, it's a 10-minute drive up to my new farm, and I don't mind. I just go prepared, right? So when I go there, my plan is to be there and have everything I need. I don't want to have to be making trips back and forth for things, right? I'm going there to do all the work for the day and then I'm done. Um, so it's kind of appealing that you could get it going. So as far as your option two, if this is a lease, the question is, what are those invasive weeds? I would say if there's a lot of Canadian thistle and field bindweed, I wouldn't use it. That's just me. However, those plots can be used um, if you really get into landscape fabric as a mulch. I did it. And so that would mean you got to just transplant everything. But it can work. I had a plot once, just a few blocks from my house, actually. I only used it for a year. The lady sold the house and I had to get out of there. But it was full of field bindweed. It was an absolute nightmare. I couldn't direct seed anything because it would get completely grown. So no field greens, no root crops, nothing like that. But I was able to grow very successfully things like celery, squash. What else did I grow there? Pepper plants. Um, what else did I do there? I did beans there. When those are from transplants, those were actually okay. I remember I didn't have fabric on there, but when I transplanted the crop in the ground, they were tall enough that the bindweed just kind of was on the ground and did pull the plants down a little bit, but I still got a decent yield of beans out of there. So you can do it. It's possible, but it's um, it's not ideal for sure. But the neat thing about urban farming is that you options present themselves continuously, especially if your plots are visible. So this 10-minute drive that's a quarter acre, I don't know what that neighborhood's like, but you know, it sounds like you could get it going a lot quicker and set up to get something happening. And then people see you, they learn about your farm, they get excited about it, and then all of a sudden there's new offers. When in my 10 years of running Green City Acres, I'm not exaggerating. I turned over 20 plots of land. So, lots of small backyards and stuff like that, but 20 plots of land that I turned over, farmed, and then left. So, for me now at this stage, because I've been doing this all for 12 years now. I took some time off farming. Um, it doesn't bother me that I would go and set up a piece of land and know that I might not even be there in a year or two. And that's what's happening at this new farm. Who knows? Who knows? Like, I ultimately want to buy my own piece of property. But it just didn't I just wasn't finding exactly what I wanted. I'm really looking for something that kind of meets 90% of my criteria. And I just wasn't finding that. And then all this crazy stuff started happening. And so for me, it was like, well, we're going to have to make do with what we have now. So let's set ourselves up really well as best we can with the resources that we have. And so this lease came up. It was a friend of mine. Um, some friends who are involved in the farm also live next door, so that's also convenient. So it just made sense, basically. But maybe hopefully that gives you some food for thought there, Chris.